transparency that doesn't affect anything, but that will allow anyone to prove their value in the blockchain. And then that's how they got in. And we met, I was leaving Deloitte to do my own thing, and I met my last and final client. I fell in love with the project, with the team, with everything that they were doing, and I decided to join. That client was Suku, so we were helping Suku. In that phase, it was still under the company, the parent company name, which is Citizen Reserve. And yeah, we were helping them design the supply chain solution that ended up being what Suku was in the first couple of years. And with me, you'll see that there's like a bunch of Deloitte people. Like many of us did like a spin-off and left Deloitte to join Suku. So we've been working together for quite some time.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. So you just talked about how you got into Suku and the background of Suku. Why don't you now tell us what is Suku? What does Suku does? Because Suku started as a supply chain solution, right? But now it's evolving into many more other interesting things.
Yeah, to me, Suku helps brands become more transparent and authentic while building the bridge between the physical world and the digital world. While we started as transparency and traceability, I can prove that you can sell more if you use Suku, because now I can tell a story, I can prove what you say it's true. We ended up proving with a couple partners that they were able to increase sales by using Suku. So now we have this traceability solution, transparency solution, and then those same clients started asking about authenticity solutions. So if you tell the story of a sneaker, and we have like a sticker, like an NFC. I don't think I have one here. Yeah, there you go. So we have NFC chips, like NFT tags, the infinite tags. So if you put them on the shoe, then when you scan it, you can learn from it. You can actually go through the story and understand how the shoe was manufactured, and that story connects you with someone that is looking for that transparency. The same brands started asking us for authenticity to not only prove that the shoe, how it was manufactured, but also prove that the shoe is authentic and it's not fake. And that, without knowing, a couple of years ago, we started dealing with NFTs, because now we were creating these digital assets that were linked to these physical items, and then you can report the shoe as stolen or lost, or I can transfer the ownership to you, and now you own it. So it's this bridge between everything that happens today in the physical world that we helped track and push those same assets to exist in the metaverse. We are true believers in that the virtual world or the metaverse is here to stay. And we created fascinating technology to allow brands that are dealing with physical assets, whether it is a gallery or a shoe brand, to be able to create those same assets for people that are looking for those in the virtual world, and then connect them back into the physical world. So that's Suku, and you'll see that we created Infinite as a separate brand to be able to focus specifically on the infrastructure for those to go deep into the NFTs and infrastructure for the metaverse. But it's part of the Suku ecosystem. It's part of the whole to connect these two worlds.
So you mentioned it's mind-boggling, and sometimes it can be difficult to understand, because we're going to talk about InfiniteWorld in a minute. But you mentioned the traceability, provenance solutions, the use case for a shoes company. Talking about use cases, what other use cases does Suku? Where do you see other use cases Suku being used currently or in the future?
Yeah. So let's divide it in the three products that we have. So we have Omni, which is the traceability transparency solution that we have. We started with me. Then we went through fashion. We did several use cases with fashion. We did some of fish. We did wine right now. We did other form of collectibles. We are doing art also. So really, Omni is a way for brands to become transparent. There's a big pipeline of different opportunities that we have. We are actually putting more sales lead into now expanding that offering. But I see a lot of different use cases for brands that, how we call it, like we call it up your game, right? The initial goal is become more transparent. The long-term goal is to up your game and show others what they need to do, like what are the standards. And everyone, I mean, if you're gonna go to, we did this with Pool FM. It's a pajamas brand with Robin Wright. If you watched Netflix, House of Cards, Claire, she's the president, and we did it for her brand. So she wanted to be able to prove everything that they said was actually true. And then that's the core of blockchain, right? Don't trust, verify. And we were able to implement and use Omni for the solution. And now you can go and buy the pajamas and you're able to scan them and see if actually everything that they say is true. And you're gonna get another pair of pajamas from another brand and they're not gonna have it. So which one are you gonna pick? What that's gonna do is it's gonna up the game of every single brand that wants to become sustainable, that they value transparency, right? Within Omni, we have the solution called Link, which is a way to connect these physical assets through the use of the NFC tags that we created with David Denison, Fortune 500, the biggest NFC manufacturer in the world and an incredible partner. And yeah, we did the use case with Otaka Tequila that you saw a couple of weeks ago. We did it with JCB, another brand of wine, and we're getting a lot of interest on that solution because it's another way of telling a story, right? That's Omni, telling stories through transparency.
Yeah, transparency becomes a key component of your differentiation strategy, right? Yeah. It becomes part of your competitive strategy. Your competitors are not showing, and you are, and that becomes a strength for the brand.
And it's easy to implement. The onboarding is easy. So it's a no-brainer for brands to be able to prove what they say is actually true. So that's Omni. DeFi is an enabler of everything that we've been doing on the Omni side to be able to give the right incentives to participants. When you look at the story, you need data. You need data. The most valuable data is from the farmers, the first one in the chain. That's what creates a story, right? If you're going through coffee in Colombia, you want to actually see the face of the coffee guy in Colombia and being able to be part of the story. Like the consumers really want to be part of the community, want to be able to help and see the face at the end of it to make sure that they're buying something that is contributing to a brand and to a community that is in need. And DeFi was that. We needed to get data from all these farmers, and it was really difficult to get it because they have limited resources. So why they will give us data? We could have explained, hey, by giving us data, then you can make the product transparent, and then by the transparency, you're going to be able to sell more. That was difficult. So DeFi, for us, it was a way to give them something in return for the data. And then with the rewards that they will get in Suku tokens, they can actually go using Text Me Crypto that we are finally launching in production soon. They will be able to ask for a microloan, right? For the first time in their lives, using one SMS, they can actually ask for a loan. Is mind-blowing. And we went there by accident. But it's an incredible application where you bring people to give them access to a microloan using DeFi. So we're not in middle. We're just connecting two parties through technology, and we're not providing any loans. It's a DeFi platform. So it's an amazing story. And then when you look at from a now that you have the finished good, now that you have the sneaker built, and you have the story of the sneaker, now I want to be able to use that sneaker in-game, or I want to be able to create my own virtual world. And that's NFTs, that's infinite.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to interrupt. You were just describing the value that we provide in the physical world there's a lot of value to provide. There's so many brands out there that are that use their storytelling as a key differentiator. It's a big market, but now the hot topic is the virtual world. It's the digital world. You know, most of us already know about Meta and the metaverse becoming a hot topic. So let's talk a little bit more about InfiniteWorld. What is InfiniteWorld, and what are the use cases for InfiniteWorld?
Yeah, I'll go through quickly so we can go through the other questions. Infinite for us is infrastructure for the metaverse. We are building the tools that all these brands that want to be in Meta or in Decentraland or whatever they want to be in to create the right assets for them. That would mean being able to create digital cars or digital handbags or digital shoes or digital art. So we are providing that infrastructure to tools that we already have. And this is important. There are many questions asking us about roadmap and the future. It's important to know that from a regulatory perspective, and being a US company, it's difficult for us to talk about the future, right? We can only talk about what we already built or what we are about to launch. That's why we always get the question, where's the roadmap? Where's the roadmap? And what are you guys doing? Like, what is the announcement? We can't make an announcement of announcements. We can't only talk about what we built or what we are really about to launch. So a little bit of patience there. Like, we're still working with regulators to find other ways, but that's the situation right now. But the two main things that we are scaling really nicely on Infinite, one is around the marketplaces. So we create an engine for any brand to use our NFT engine and create their stores. So if you look at, I don't know, let's say brand A, they do handbags, right? Let's say Gucci, and Gucci wants to go to the metaverse, which they already did, and they don't want to be on OpenSea, because why they will be selling like Gucci bags on OpenSea, which you can see that's okay, the new eBay for the virtual world. They want to be able to have the NFTs on Gucci.com, and that's what we created, an engine that any brand can embed on their website to sell the same assets that they're selling on the physical world, like handbags, but now virtually in form of NFTs. We are launching 2 marketplaces in the next 30 days. One area with deals with the NBA retired players, MLB, NHL alumni. 2 is Seva Lab, which is the marketplace founded by Deepak Chopra and Punacha, Marketplace for Good. The first NFT is with Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, and we're using the same engine. And we have an incredible pipeline, and I'm trying to not say anything about the future, but we have an incredible pipeline of opportunities that we closed, and for partners that are looking for exactly the same solution. I don't want to be on another marketplace. I want to create my own store using my own brand, and that's what we created. And the second solution is really the tags, to be able to create NFTs out of physical assets. So we did it with Spencer Dinwiddie from the NBA player, and we sold NFTs out of physical shoes that he used on court. That model is getting replicated and getting a lot of interest with influencers and with different brands that have connections with influencers that want to sell authenticated merch using the Infinite tags. So yeah, Infinite has been fascinating, and yeah, we are scaling really, really nicely there.
Amazing, mind-blowing, and we could keep talking about this for hours. But we sourced so many great questions that I think it's time to address those. These are the tough questions, though. Diona, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. So here we have. First one says, "Hi, Jonathan. I'd love to learn more." Oh, actually, this you already addressed this one. Difference between Suku and InfiniteWorld. Okay, here's a tough one. I want to ask about the tokenomics. Why is there such a low circulating supply versus a max supply, and when will tokens unlock?
Yeah, great question. And I've seen that question through the Telegram, and I saw some fad around like unlocking tokens, and yeah. So when you think about tokenomics, the driver is adoption. If you go right now to Suku the World and you go through the latest token transparency from this year, you will see that graphic, that curve. It starts really small, right? From a trading partners, technology partners, operations, and it starts going up, right, on the distribution curve that really follows adoption. We've been working 4 years on building and building and building. Right now is that we started launching everything that we've been building for the last 4 years and proving market fit. So the token incentives and mechanisms to bring more users, bring more clients, follow that pattern. You distribute more where you have more users, right? And that's exactly it. It's important to know that we submitted, I think it was like 3 months ago, we submitted a detailed report with every single month where you are able to see with each bucket, either operations, trading partners, like every single bucket, you will be able to see how much should be released every month, which is an enhancement of that graphic. We submitted it to Messari. Messari is the biggest database to get tokenomics. For some reason, they didn't still publish it, and we are following up with them because that's the best tool. We could have launched it somewhere else, but I mean, they have the right template to go and publish it. So hopefully we can do it at the beginning of December, and you'll be able to see every single token. The other thing that I wanted to address, which is the portion of the tokens from private investors in US, and I've seen a lot of comments, oh, they are dumping the tokens and they're going, nothing happened, right? We are working with our supporters and regulatory bodies to make sure that we have the right approach for everyone, right? For everyone in Suku family, and if anything happens, you're gonna hear it from us first. But it's important to know that everyone is working to be able to help and support the community in the best way we can. So whatever objective, whatever outcome, it's always gonna be on improving and on keep doing the good things that we have been doing so far. So there's no reason to freak out. If anything happens, you're gonna hear from me directly. But again, everyone is working together to find for this particular item like the best outcome for everyone. But for anything, right? There's nothing is, we're not hiding anything. And if you have questions, feel free to tag me on Telegram and we can address those. There's nothing to hide.
Definitely, and it's important to remember that we are a company. One of our tenets is transparency, right? Okay, another great question, and this one I've been hearing a lot is, hey, when will you be offering staking?
Staking is interesting. So we did a couple of campaigns in the past. We did one in DeFi, and then we tried other. I think we did one on KuCoin last time. So it's tricky, right? We are trying to find the best way to include staking as a utility for us to create the right incentives. Like staking, what we've seen in other ecosystems, like they're not really interested in staking. They're just interested for the sake of what's bringing, which is basically free rewards. So again, can't say anything about the future. It's something that we've been looking at it, and I think there might be an opportunity there in terms of the metaverse utility that we're building, right? And again, I'm trying to stay conscious of what can I say and what not, but the metaverse is absolutely key, right? I mean, what we're building with Infinite and how we bring Suku as a reward, as an enabler into everything that we do in Infinite, it's truly important. I can't say anything. We'll say whenever we have implemented the right things that we do and to bring everything together. But it's a priority for all of us.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Yona, we're running out of time. I know that you got.
Let's do. I'm gonna send him a message. I think I can join 10 minutes, so we can do until 45. So 13 more minutes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so we can tackle some more of the source questions and hopefully tackle some of the live questions. You just mentioned Infinite World, the metaverse. This is one also very popular. Will Infinite World be involved with gaming?
Yeah. So I mean, you think about NFTs and metaverse in two stages. Like what we are doing now is we're providing the infrastructure for phase one, which is how do we bring all these assets into this world? So we partner with Dreamview that gives us the capabilities to actually produce NFT assets. Like you're gonna see every single thing that we launch on the marketplaces that use the Infinite engine will have Dreamview assets. So that's really creating the foundation. Like you create a store to build the assets. And then once you create the assets, then you can actually link them. And after the foundation is set, you need to give them utility. So I think the collectible space is great. It's fun. It's a huge bubble, right? I mean, when you think about collectibles as a whole without utility, not a lot will survive. Like you really need to think like, what's the value of holding something besides just being scarce, which is what gives them the value. And utility is the answer. Those assets do not exist just to give them in your wallet. Those assets exist to give you some power, either gaming, either an experience that bridges the physical and digital. So yeah, gaming is an absolute focus to be able to include those assets and make them interoperable. I mean, it's part of the metaverse. It's part of what the future is. Maybe not for our generation, but maybe someone younger that really they spending all the time in the metaverse and in games, and they are gonna have different experiences, and we are providing those tools for them.
Thanks for that. I'm gonna ask you one more from the sourced questions, and then we're gonna start with the live questions. Okay.
That's it.
And this one, this person asks, will Suku have any form of governance in the future?
Yeah. So it is funny. We created a governance platform a couple of years ago, and I think it's important as we build the community to select. I mean, and I told you I'm here in this world because I believe in decentralization, and anyone can say it, right? But I truly believe in anything that we can do to get us there will be critical for all of us. So we have the platform already created that we can launch it tomorrow if we wanted to. Now that we're building the community, our systems are picking up, we're getting users, we're getting really good traction, is when those decisions start to make sense. So whenever we face decisions that make sense to bring everyone into it because we think that's the right approach, is that we can start thinking about those features. We have the infrastructure. So it's really like a conversation with the community, right? This is something that we can open it up and think, hey, what would we want to like add in? Like what we're seeing in the market is governance tokens are good. Nobody's voting for anything right now. So there needs to be a legit interest of actually adding value for someone that just got in to understand like what's the best decision. Like the reality right now in governance tokens is that really nobody cares, maybe because nobody understands, but that's the reality today.
Yeah, and that's typically what the crypto space follow. There's 3 stages, and that's usually the last one, the governance stage. We start with a product, making sure that you're providing value. The second stage is usually growing a community around your product, your brand, your solution, and the third step is usually governance.
Yeah.
Okay, time for live questions.
Can we do? I don't know if you have it in the questions, but let's do. I've seen in the different chats the question around marketing, which is like, what are you doing with marketing? What are you doing with the community? Why so many bots? So let me. Yeah. No. So we can spend 2 minutes on that. So let me address the bot thing. So first of all, we brought Alejo. So happy to have you. Incredible to have you. You're the man. And we really spent like 4 years building. That was it. Like building. Just focus on just delivering stuff. There's also a regulatory component, which makes it very difficult from a marketing perspective on what can we say, how, when, being a US company. Now we feel that we have the product in place, we have the users, and now it's the time to focus on the marketing side. The community for us it's something that we really want to expand, that we want to make sure that we are a close-knit community, that we feel for each other, that we understand everything that's happening, that we're able to communicate and to listen. It's now the time. And we've been investing a lot in technology in the last 4 years. This is now the moment for us to invest in marketing, and we are doing it. I have listed, and I'm looking at my notes, I have listed several things that we did. So first of all, the CoinMarketCap campaign was a campaign to create awareness, right, for NFTs and for Suku. I think we got that exposure, not in the best way, because we didn't anticipate so many bots and people just getting in and saying hi, and it didn't make sense. But the goal really on getting more exposure was accomplished. Now we are, for the ones interested in the NFT, hopefully we're still working with CoinMarketCap to be able to get to see the winners, and we'll communicate it as soon as we can. We brought you Alejo, which as a lead marketing for Suku. We are now also recruiting for other roles. You can go to Suku Careers. We still need marketing for Infinite, and we need people that can help Alejo as well. We have a community in Asia, which probably you guys are not involved, because these are on different channels, Weibo and WeChat. So we've been running that community for a few months. We brought Luna PR, which is a marketing agency out of Singapore that has been working with amazing projects. They're helping us with marketing campaigns. They're helping us now. They started last week with social media moderation, and we also have Melrose PR that have been helping us with PR for already like 2 or 3 years already. They're great. We are hiring people. We have partnerships and products launched in the market, and it's not about not having enough meat. The issue that we have right now is how we communicate it. Yeah. So we're working all the time, and you know better than I, on being able to communicate everything that we did and everything that it's enabling all these systems. So Luna PR is going to help us with that, and onboarding. And let me see, I think I have some more here. But we are sponsoring events right now. So we sponsor NFT NYC again to be able to increase and improve that communication. We are sponsoring now the Central, the NFT conference in Miami for Art Basel. I'm speaking there, and really just getting more exposure and being able to create campaigns for engagement. We are partnering with a game also to be able to release Suku. Yeah, I can say more than that, but it's an interesting marketing play. We're doing Clubhouse for NFTs and for Suku related stuff. So it's coming together. It's coming together. It takes time to be able to communicate and send a message, but you need to know that it's now a huge priority for us, and we are investing and putting the money to be able to create those channels. In the process, it's going to be a mess. You're going to have people saying hi 1,000 times. But the other request is for the community to be in it with us. It's not driven by us only. Like, it needs to come together as a whole between us, right? So you need to help us with that. You need to help us to communicate the message and get exposure on amazing things that we're doing. There's no, I mean, modestly speaking, there's no doubt that we created great stuff and we were able to partner with incredible clients. There's no doubt about it. Now we need to help get the message out, and we are putting the right pieces. We also have another marketing company working specifically for Infinite. We are revamping the Infinite side, the Suku side by Q1. So yeah, marketing, it's been, and community management has been a strong focus for us for the last month, and we'll keep doing that.
Yeah, and we're putting a lot of efforts on making it easier for newcomers to onboard. You know, what is Suku? Like, you can tell. I joined 2-3 months ago, and immediately I realized, oh my God, like these products are amazing. The value that they're providing, and they'll provide is amazing. We just need a little bit more communication, and that's a little bit because of our limitations on what we can say or not. You talked a little bit about that, like what's the reason why we don't have a roadmap out, right? That's what people want to know about that. Well, it's because we just can't. When we can, we will. Thanks for that. Okay, so here
2 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I'm gonna be late, but that's fine.
Oh, okay. So here we have Tom asking, okay, how many people work in Suku now? I mean,
All right.
That's a good question.
We are in total around 45 people. We are distributed across US. We have a lot of people in Uruguay. I don't know why, but we have people in Uruguay. You know why? We have people in Argentina. A lot of the devs are in Argentina, product as well. So yeah, we are around 45 people and an incredible team, collaborative, and yeah, super passionate, super grateful with everyone.
People in Asia, in Europe.
Yeah, in Asia as well. Yes. But mainly, yeah, those are between US, Latin America. Those are the biggest regions for us.
Okay, I was expecting this one. Why are there so many bots in your channel? It looks shady.
Yeah. We are explaining. It was because of CoinMarketCap. Hopefully, we can remove them now and clean up everything. But again, it's not our fault. Like it's, I mean, 2 million participants. No, how many? 1.4 million.
More than 1.4 million participants.
Yeah, of course there are going to be bots, but it wasn't our intention, right? Our intention to get more exposure, and that was. So we are now trying to clean up everything.
And I guess we can do one more, Yona.
Okay, one more. Let's do it.
Okay, this is you might have already talked a bit about this, but how will InfiniteWorld compete with other NFT launchpads like OpenSea?
Yeah, I mean, OpenSea is the market for everything, where you will be able to see NFTs from any different brand or company. Our goal is to provide the engine for brands to be able to launch their own NFTs on their site. So it's like launching your product or your brand on eBay versus launching it on your own website. If you have your own branding and you've been investing and you have a good company, then you might prefer to do it in your own website, and that's the engine that we create. So we don't compete with OpenSea. We just provide the infrastructure for others to launch NFTs, which integrates with payments, which are complex in the crypto space, and KYC and many other features.
Yeah, I think that's the best answer. We're not competing. We're in the same industry, but we're not competitors.
Guys, I'm getting pinged by these guys, but it was a pleasure. Thank you, Alejo, and the community for the questions. We should do this more often. And
for sure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Till next one. Yeah.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.